In this section, we're going to keep working on our recipe app by putting together a collection and writing some methods on it. Throughout the course of doing this, we'll run into the issue of how to deal with Ajax in our tests and introduce sign-on.js to solve that issue. First, let's get back to our recipe app. We left off with a model, but we'll need to define a collection for our data structure to be complete. In this video, we'll create that collection and add a method to it, both driven by tests. This time, our tests will be run by Karma instead of having to run them ourselves. Create recipe collection spec.js in the spec directory and start describing a test suite. We'll first write a simple test to make sure the collection exists. Run karma start, and we'll see the tests fail in our browsers. Let's create recipe collection.js in the source directory. We'll add our namespace boilerplate and create the recipes collection. We can save this file, but Karma isn't including it yet. Stop Karma and open up karma.conf.js. In the files array, we'll add our new recipe collection.js in the array after our model, but before our tests. Now, when we run karma start, we should see passing tests. Let's try to instantiate our recipe collection with some real data now. In recipe collection spec.js, we'll add a new test that expects collection length to be 2 when passed an array of 2 recipes. Instead of hard-coding the recipes that we're passing in, let's just reference some of our fixtures. Our tests are passing now, so let's add another expectation that the first recipe is of the recipe model type. This should fail because we haven't set the model property on our collection yet. We can see that our tests are failing, so let's open up our recipe collection and add a model property. We'll assign the model property to app.models.recipe. When we go to the console again, our tests have run automatically and are passing. Now let's add a method to get a list of recipe names. First, we need to add a test. We're going to call the test should_consolidate_recipe_names. Our recipe collection is going to hold many versions of the same recipe, which will all have the same name. We want to be able to get a unique list of those names to display in the app. In this test, we'll create a recipe collection with 2 of the same recipe so we can make sure it only returns the recipe name once. Now, I'll expect the return value of recipes.getRecipeNames to be an array with the values marinara and eggs benedict. Our tests are failing, so let's create the getRecipeNames function on our collection. Let's return the unique instances of the name property. We can do that with a few underscore methods. When we save, our tests are automatically run and we can see that they pass now. In this video, we've added a new collection and added a method on it. In the next video, I'm going to challenge you to add some more functionality to our collection on your own.